Okay, we gotta watch this, dude. Someone said the audio is shit, though. Wait, what the fuck? What's up with the audio, dude? No, I think it's like mono or something. That's why. Oh, no. We might not be able to watch it. Hold up, boys. Hold up, boys.
Hassle.
Wait, that's better. I flipped it. I flipped it to off of mono. Wait, does this mean it's like super copyrighted? Is that why the audio balance is like fucked up?
Well,
that some of these people are actually Johnson.
it would be the greatest night of my life. Champagne, pretty girls. You wonder, can life get any better than this? Well, to be blunt, it can. At midnight, I'm going to inherit more money than most people could earn or spend in a lifetime. I've been waiting for this night for as long as I can remember. The thing is, now that it's here, I'm not really sure what to make of it all. I live in a country that everyone wants to believe is a meritocracy. We want to think that everyone earns what they...
Okay, I'm gonna get this dude on the fucking stream, bro. This dude seems very interesting. He already is like... Hasan Piker POV. Yeah, that's me, boys. Inherited... Everybody knows I inherited $7 quadrillion from my family. And, you know, lived in the fucking kitchen of a frat house while working for my uncle's also quadrillion-dollar business. You know, my uncle's quadrillion-dollar business that only paid me $21,000 my first year of working there. And basically $65K at the end after like 4 years. You know, that sort of incredible experiences that I had living in Los Angeles. That was actually you know, you probably inherited the stream. Yes. Well, what do you call it? Yeah, Jank also literally paid everyone and still pays everyone.
They have. I guess if it makes you feel better, keep telling yourself that. It doesn't work for me anymore. I know my family gives away millions of dollars each year to charity, but how does that exactly level the playing field? I mean, what did I...
On your nepotism is cringe when you don't? Oh, God. Here you go, dude. 11-month subscriber. Own your nepotism. Get fucking fucked, bitch. You know I do. You know I fucking do, you dumb bitch. If you're comparing my nepotism to like working at a fucking 26-person startup, a YouTube channel, to literally a dude who is getting $1 billion at the age of 21 from his fucking family, and you've been here for 11 months, like you're gonna get fucking clapped. I mean, absolutely clapped.
I do to earn the kind of money I'll own at midnight tonight. All I did was inherit it.
It's so disgusting, dude. I can't, dude. I can't do this. It's so fucking stupid, dude. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, the incredible fortune that I had starting. Why do I have to qualify everything always, dude? I literally every single fucking thing always have to qualify. Always have to qualify. Non-stop. Chatters that have been in this community for long enough have heard me say this probably 1,000,000+ times, okay? Yes, of course. I had an incredible upper hand, an incredible advantage, being able to work in a fucking media company. Yeah, I got fucked over a lot, okay? But it doesn't matter. It was still an upper hand that most people are never going to be able to get, okay? But if it was fucking pure nepotism, then I wouldn't be fucking quadrupling TYT's numbers every fucking day since I've gone off on my own, okay? Like, it's so idiotic to just like say just, oh yeah, it's just jank, it's just jank. It's like, no. Jank gave me the opportunity that many people are never going to be able to have, but that is not the only reason why I'm at the position that I'm in. I recognize the nepotism and the upper hand that I had, being able to work for a fucking media company, something that most people are not going to be able to do. But like, to claim like this is similar to the fucking Rothschilds situation or the Johnson & Johnson family is completely fucking idiotic. Anyway.
Hi, Arjan.
What the fuck happened with the music there?
Howdy, partners. 4 months of
What is going on with the audio in this one, broys? What the fuck? Okay, are we just like... Let's see. Maybe it was
My grandfather
DMCA.
Seward was the first generation to be born rich. When he was my age, he bought a schooner and sailed to the Arctic.
Bro, that's what rich people used to do in the black and white era. You know what I mean? Rich people would be like, all right, it's time to sail to the Arctic. Bro, he said my grandfather was the first generation to be born rich, okay? His grandfather. When your grandpappy is a recipient of intergenerational wealth, that's rich, dude. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ, dude.
From the beginning, my grandfather had everything going for him. He went to the best schools, was trained in all the finer arts, and was introduced to all the right people.
Cash rules everything around
His
me.
father had
Cream
started
get the
from
money,
scratch.
Dollar bill, yeah.
Only 3% of millionaires inherited 1 million plus. It doesn't even matter. Because when you're born into a family like this, and I've talked about this a lot, okay? This notion that, like, how many millionaires actually inherited their wealth? It's like a really silly, pro-capitalist idea that Ben Shapiro and others try to fucking put forward. When you're born into a family that's worth 1 million, 100 million, whatever the fuck, it's not the advantages that you get when your fucking parents croak, okay? It's not the advantages you get when your parents croak and then you finally get like $1 billion. When you're born into a billionaire family, you go to a fucking school with other billionaire kids. You get to fucking buy a wing at the Harvard library so you can also go to Harvard. And then you get to make those networking opportunities and those connections. You get a fucking cushy job immediately that pays you $150,000 a year if you want to. You don't even need to if you don't want to. It's like that is the most significant part, which is why I always say, listen, my parents, my dad was very wealthy when I was growing up in Turkish terms, okay? And he lost all of that wealth. He literally fucking lost all that wealth by the time I got to college. But it doesn't matter because it gave me a significant upper hand with my education, with what I grew up with what I was able to learn. I never had to like fucking worry about anything. I never had to worry about bills and shit like that. And I was not like born into 100 millionaire family or anything like that, but it was still affluent enough, especially in Turkey, that it allowed me to be able to study, focus on, growth and shit like that. You know what I mean? Instead of like having to worry about putting food in the fridge or anything like that. So that gives you a lot of resources. Now, I fucking equalize that a little bit by coming to America and leaving Turkey. But wow, it's not confirmed. Rich kid. Yes, again. Once again, if you're new here, this is something that I'm very open about, something I'm very honest about. I've talked about it regularly. But even then, that gives a lot. Like that gives so many fucking advantages. to someone like myself even. And someone like myself and my family is nowhere near. Like, my dad had enough money that he could lose it. You know what I mean? My dad had enough money so he could lose it within my lifetime before I even got to college. That's not the kind of wealth that we're talking about with these people. Okay? These people have so much more than that. Hundreds of millions of dollars, upwards of billions of dollars. When you have that kind of money, you will never go broke. Okay? That takes multiple generations to spend, not one singular generation. So the idea that, like, oh, millionaires don't always inherit their wealth is a silly one. Okay. Even when you're upper middle class and you get a hand-me-down vehicle from your parents, like I did, the Toyota Camry, that is a big advantage. That's a gigantic advantage in comparison to someone who didn't get a fucking hand-me-down car from their parents because their parents weren't wealthy enough to be able to own a car and not use it anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? That's a huge advantage. So even when I was living in a fucking kitchen of a frat house, okay, I still at the very least had a fucking car. That is huge, okay? Living in LA, that is fucking huge. I still use the Camry. Yes, I still drive it. Obviously, at this stage, it doesn't fucking matter. But, like, back then, that was a gigantic burden, a gigantic financial burden that was lifted off my shoulders. Do you understand? So, there are many different ways that we have these privileges, even when we're upper middle class or even when we're middle class, that we don't really think about. Okay? And the mega wealthy, the 1% of wealth, they have all the fucking privileges. So to think that, like, the only way that they make money is by, like, directly inheriting it is a silly, it's a silly way to deflect away from the reality of how rich people stay rich and how rich people get even more rich. Another advantage is that you can buy a fucking $5 a month subscription and no longer see the ads at the top of the hour when you're watching the Born Rich documentary on the Hasan broadcast. Or if you're rich enough that your family has an Amazon Prime, you can take that Amazon Prime and connect it to your Twitch account and get one free Prime subscription a month. If you're rich enough, you gift subs to others so they don't see fucking ad breaks. You know what I mean? These are the many different advantages. Here's the 1 minute ad break now, though. It was when people started getting in cars in high school that I realized the difference of wealth in everyone. Yeah.
Being an immigrant was your real advantage at Hasan Abbey Gary V type beat.
Thank you, Alligator. Thank you, Star Stuff, for the 10 gifted subs. Were you even in the top 2% in Turkey growing up? You might have a distorted view of your childhood like most people, and we're probably just barely upper middle class. No, my parents were wealthy, dude. They were wealthy. Wrong video. Oh, wait, did I go to the wrong one?
He founded a company in 1886 that was called Johnson & Johnson. It wasn't long before the Johnson brothers were two
Hold on, I'll be back in 1
men
second.
in America. It sure seemed like my grandfather had an ideal life.
Indeed, Hasan.
If only he'd known then about the trouble ahead. By the end of his days, my grandfather had managed to sink himself and his family into the kind of problems only truly mastered by the very rich. Ugly estate battles, bitter divorces, brutal publicity, and family ties undone by business rivalries. I've heard plenty of stories like my grandfather's, and I have a feeling that I'm not the only rich kid a little worried about the voodoo of inherited wealth. But the thing is, nobody wants to talk about money. It's like this big taboo always lurking under the surface. That's why I want to ask other kids who were born rich about that one subject everybody knows it's not polite to talk about.
Islam.
Look, Jamie, this firm, we have represented your family for years. For years. I can't in good conscience recommend to the kinds of people you want to talk to about the kinds of things you want to talk about that they participate in the film. They have to be nuts. I mean, you're dealing with families that have always made it gospel that you don't talk about your money. And now you want to put them in a film that, I don't know how, I'm not surprised that you're having trouble getting people.
Before I say anything, I just want to say that I am really, really reluctant to do this. And I really don't like talking this thing at all. And I dislike you both immensely as a result of the fact.
But he does, actually. He does actually like that. Like, he classic. He was able to find, like...
If Luke is any indication of what it's going to be like trying to get my friends to talk, then this is going to be more of an adventure than I expected.
I mean, I have sort of apprehensions, first of all, about being on, in a film, like, about a bunch of rich kids. Maybe it's more than that. I understand that it represents, like, a particular sort of, niche that maybe, most of the world doesn't really recognize, and in that way it's significant. But, I would worry about, like, my parents seeing it, I would worry about some of my friends seeing it. I think, some of them would think that my involvement in it was inappropriate. Essentially just kind of the notion of talking about, one's wealth, describing a bunch of people's wealth. It's just kind of...
When they say gaming industry, they mean gambling. They don't mean fucking EA. The EA intergenerational billionaires are coming now in the upcoming generation. It's too soon. That's why, like, back in the early 2000s when they were saying, like, gaming billionaire, they meant, like, fucking gambling.
Tacky. My father's in the gaming industry. They do sports and horse racing. They supply the equipment and security and everything. So they do the, all the betting at Belmont and, Churchill Downs is where the Kentucky Derby's held. At the Preakness. And then they do all the hotels in Vegas or Atlantic City in terms of sports betting. It's a pretty big business. My father told me at a very early age that I could do whatever I wanted. You can do whatever you want. You can be a concert violinist, for all I care, as long as you do something. As long as you do something, you're going to be set up. You don't have to worry about anything. Don't do something. He didn't say, at that age, I might have to cut you off, but...
That's a lie, by the way. The real number I want to know is how many fucking billionaire fail sons have ever been cut off. That's the real thing. Like, here's the point, okay? If money and this kind of if emotional fulfillment that you get from like your fucking from working hard and becoming like self-made or whatever was so much better, then like the moment that you recognize that, you would just say, okay, I took all the fucking advantages of like being from a billionaire family, but I'm done. I'm doing it on my own. I'm not letting anybody know who the fuck I am, and I'm just gonna go and like, it's just impossible. Like it's also not even easy to do. Like you can't just like fucking drop everything. Like you're always going to be the son of a billionaire. You know what I mean? Lol, cause I'm sure they could find a way to sue daddy with daddy's money if he did.
It would be a low estimate, a very low estimate for me to say 20 billion. But I can't get too exact with it. But
next one's on me. Pico has
in attainable assets, that's the range our family's in. My grandfather goes by Cy. His father went by SI. I'm my father's oldest son, so I'm SI number 4. And my great grandfather.
Bro, that's crazy. That's a crazy fucking name, dude. I go by SI number 4. Yeah, and it's like Elon Musk with his child whose name is Xylitol 17.
Had bought a group of magazines.
These guys are true visionaries. They did that before anybody else.
Under a label called Condé Nast. I don't remember what was in it originally, so I'm just going to name them all. Is that okay? I don't have enough fingers. Vogue, Allure, Vanity Fair, GQ, Self, Glamour, House and Garden, Condé Nast Traveler, Architectural Digest, Bon Appetit, Gourmet, Wired, New Yorker, and I'm sure there's a couple I missed, which in any other family you'd think would lay a lot of pressure on my shoulders. They say, you're the old...
Oh, doesn't the kid look actually like Kyle Rittenhouse a little bit? He's giving me like Kyle Rittenhouse from A Billionaire Family energy.
List, you know, you're the namesake. But it doesn't work that way in my family. You got to earn your way. If you don't go to school, at least somewhat, and if you don't work for the family and put in your time, you don't get shit.
He's not Kyle Rittenhouse. He's Kyle Rittenmansion. Nah, he's Kyle Rittencastle.
How you doing? Very good. You're looking great. It's therapeutic. You go to the shrink, you talk about yourself, and then you figure out things. Same thing, you go to the tailor, and you still talk about yourself, and you figure out other things. It's my shrink.
The difference is Kyle Rittenhouse is the proletarian. He's the white working class murderer, okay? That guy, when he and his family have blood on their hands, and they have so much more than Kyle Rittenhouse could ever fucking imagine, okay? That's legalized and normalized and expected, okay? Now, I can't speak for fucking Condé Nast Media Publishing as far as like blood. That's a little different than like being the fucking being the heir to like the textile industry, or being an heir to someone in like Johnson & Johnson, like that. Those guys have a lot more blood, like literally a lot more blood in their hands than like, I can't really think of like what Condé Nast has done that would have like directly murdered people, but
17 months
I guess war propaganda, so that's pretty bad.
Drink. There are not many people like myself in modeling. I see, and had friends that really got me into it. They almost coerced me into it. I kept hearing it from many sides. Try it, why not try it? And finally I did. Lauren Hutton, who's a friend of mine, gave me the idea. Isabella Rossellini once said, yes, call me out. Some other members of my family think it's a step down.
I love this, dude. I'm talking about like, I'm comparing like fucking, you know, I'm the heir to the United Fruit Company or something. And then this guy's like, Bon Appetit was exposed for only paying their white on-air talent. Like, there's a difference, man. We're talking about like, this dude's granddad is like on a first name basis with Mussolini or some shit, and you're like, oh well, you know, Condé Nast only paid their white on-air talent.
Yo.
Like, there's like genocide, and then you got fucking that. I'm sure they have some other shit, because like everything since post-industrial revolution has like turned into a finance company. Like these guys, every company in the United States of America ultimately turns into a bank. Okay, that's all they do now. Every company, they don't create anything. They originally created shit. They generated a lot of capital, and now they're all banks. Okay, whether it's Condé Nast or fucking Boeing or Microsoft or Macro Hard, whatever you want to think about, they're all banks now. The financialization of the economy has created a system where like everyone's just a bank. Okay. So of course, when you do that, then you know there's plenty of fucking shit that you're doing that's horrible that banks do.
Being a whore, which for a man, I think it is. I did it purposely. It's the other end of the spectrum for me. I've always been very introspective and interested in culture and things like that, and this is something on the surface completely, and I'm purposely doing it to explore that side. No,
oh yeah, questo qui sì. Okay. Questo sì.
Lapels, you see they're high. There's nothing worse when you see these jackets with these lapels that go like this, you see? They are low riding. Clinton wears this kind of thing. Have you seen? It looks like a restaurant owner. It's so vulgar. This
He's just dunking on the petite bourgeoisie too. He's like, it looks like a restaurant owner. Yo, when you're so rich, you're using a small business owner as a slur. Like, working class is not even in their vernacular, okay? I love that, dude. It's so vulgar, like a restaurant owner. It's so vulgar, like you own a bank or something. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's awesome. The level of wealth that you have where you're just using people that have like $1 million as like a fucking pejorative.
is so, has an aristocratic thing to it, no?
Well, I think no matter what I hear about my parents, about my family, no matter what I read, the fact is that I'm absolutely, proud to be a Trump. And I'm, like proud of my family name, and I'm proud of everything they've done and ever accomplished. My grandfather, somebody was telling me, had built more housing units than anyone else has ever done in New York. And he was just in the other boroughs. So to my dad, it was sort of, he wanted to go in the direction of his father. He just always loved Manhattan, so he wanted to build here. There's some sort of pride in the fact that people would even take an interest in me just because I'm a part of them. So, for a while I was worried that, for my whole life I've sort of be under my parents' shadow, but it's not a bad shadow to be under, I guess. It's okay.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I guess she still owns it.
I mean, growing up, everything just seems normal. You go to a museum, you're like, yeah, that's me, that's my family, And don't you have a family museum? The money from my family is kind of complicated. On my grandfather's side of the family, his grandmother was Gertrude Vanderbilt.
So he's like related to Anderson Cooper then, this kid?
Vanderbilts made their money in shipping and railroads. And Gertrude Vanderbilt married...
Like, when we talk about blood, these guys, okay? That's bloody, okay? That's just straight blood money, okay? That straight fucking blood money. You understand me? Anyone who fucking touched railroads is a murderer. Straight up.
A guy named Harry Payne Whitney, who was the son of William C. Whitney, who was a very famous New York financier. Gertrude was a bohemian type, kind of going off to Paris and getting sculpture lessons by Rodin, and in the early 1900s had gone...
Oh, holy shit! Oh! Their fucking great-grandparents were already fucking, like, fail sons, dude. Oh, my God.
Downtown and tried to help out struggling American artists, and in the process formed the Whitney Museum.
Yeah, I love being the bohemian type because I have so much wealth that I can fly to France and get fucking sculpting lessons from Rodin only to come back and build the Whitney, dude. Are you fucking... That's not boho, dude. That's like... That's Chinese not bohemian, motherfucker. What do you mean?
Right away.
Ah!
I always take the subway, but my mom had never really been on the subway. I took her on the other day, and she was like, whoa, this is cool. Other people should do this. I was like, you should come during rush hour, It's kind of ironic, because the Whitney family made their money off of subways. Yeah, they sort of privatize.
To be honest, it's an 80-pound flight. In 1908, lady sarcasm. Like 1908 was I'm making up the year, but like somewhere it's just just 80 euros to fly. That's not that big of a deal.
It's the subway and held a monopoly on it. Charged the city all this money. It was a complete racket. They were crooks.
At least he recognizes it.
But everybody was a crook back then who made money.
Oh.
The Johnsons, right? They probably were like making opium or something.
What is going on, dude? Why is he wearing
I
it?
didn't always know I was rich. I know it sounds a little strange to say that, but growing up in the country, I just thought that everybody had carriages and horses and stuff like that. My parents never sat me down and said, "You're rich." In fact, my dad never talked about his inherited wealth at all. That's why it was so weird when I did find out. I was 10 years old. It was in 4th grade, during a free reading period in the...
Bro, when you're so wealthy that you don't even know you're wealthy, dude, that's nuts. It's like me not realizing I was tall until like later in life. You know what I mean? And that like there are benefits that come along with it. Except I didn't only hang out around tall people. You know what I mean?
In a library, a kid in my class found my dad's name in a copy of Forbes magazine with a list of the 400 richest people in America. The kid read the article aloud to the whole class, and everyone, including my teacher, ran over to check it all out for themselves.
Hasan, you could make his money for 500 years and still be poor. You understand that, right? Hasan, oh, Hasan, why do you act like you weren't born rich too?
Hassle.
It was strange. All my friends and me finding out at the same time how
The
rich...
funniest part about the people that say like, Hasan, why do you act like you weren't born rich too? Is that like they 100% come from a family just by virtue of being in America and also being on Twitch right now. There is like a 98% chance that their family is wealthier than mine, especially now is. You know what I mean? Not me, but my family. Straight up.
My family was. I felt like I was learning a secret that I wasn't supposed to know. A secret my dad had been keeping from me. And now, the fact that I'm making a film about it has him really nervous.
Sometimes prying into people's lives with a camera and revealing things.
Law, bad take. You don't even understand. Like, you don't know how much money my fucking my father made in laws. You have no fucking clue, dumbass. It's your suspicion, or rather your speculation. That's it. Hasanabe, you are so disconnected from real life. It's hilarious. Another 11-month subscriber about to get his fucking ass cheeks clapped, dude. Uncle and TYT not born into it. 200K a month is not Hollywood actor money. Hollywood actors get 10 times that. Uncle and TYT not born into it. Okay, another 11-month subscriber. Absolutely fucking ass cheeks. Got their ass cheeks clapped once again. People don't understand that being rich in Turkey isn't the exactly equivalent of being rich in the U.S. Lamau. Yeah, literally, but it doesn't matter. Did you think Jank had TYT when you were born? Yeah, and also TYT was making a gazillion dollars. I was born into TYT, TYT money. Yeah. All of you. All of you that are in here are actually in here because Jank inherited all of you guys and sent them here. Sent you here.
Slam.
Like TYT as a fucking media company, I don't know how much money it makes, but it probably makes less than I do now. Okay. So this idea that like, you know, and I've only been able to become, I only got this level of success after I left TYT. I didn't feel malice in the chatter. What was he banned? He said I'm so disconnected from reality because I like was born into TYT wealth.
That are sensational, creates ill will, and
yeah, but I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I want to have.
He's right. This person is right, by the way.
Brain rot.
This person is right. Having a U.S. citizenship is more of a privilege than having a house in Turkey or being rich in Turkey in general. He's not wrong. He's right. It is my privilege that allowed me to have an American citizenship with a Turkish family. That's true. That is low key the biggest fucking upper hand I have, is that I have an American citizenship. Straight the fuck up. Absolutely.
I actually feel about myself.
Like, the hilarity is, like, being born in NA is like having an American passport is literally the greatest privilege of all time. Straight the fuck up. Absolutely. In comparison to the rest of the world. Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, it's not an accident that, like, even a fucking poor person in America is still, by comparison, wealthier than the rest of the planet. You know what I mean?
More in a psychological, introspective way.
The U.S. passport is weak?
What?
What?
About money or be nervous about who I am. And I feel like you're feeling nervous about this film is maybe that nervousness of who you are.
And you're in control of this film, and I'm not. So there's a little source
Having
of
an American
nervousness.
passport is my single greatest achievement.
What do you think about my theory that you have that nervousness and that anxiety that I'm trying to avoid and maybe understand and overcome?
Perhaps I do. And maybe you will
Over the past
overcome
9
it.
months, W no ban. VOD watchers stay winning.
Maybe you can walk into school, into a group of people, feel perfectly at home and comfortable and that you belong, or have as much right to be there as anybody else.
15 months
You think
and not one
you
funny
made a
message.
mistake and you don't
Love
want me
you
to
will
make the
pass.
same mistakes you did?
Maybe.
Not yet.
The time I realized I was wealthy was ironically at Friends Seminary in New York City, which is a Quaker school. I say ironically because Quakers are supposed to be nice and like not evil acting. But apparently there's one of those parent meeting things, and some kid, her father must have told her, oh, that guy, his family owns a lot of stuff and newspapers, and they're really mean and whatnot. And she went and told everybody that I thought I was all into myself. And I don't know, I guess at that point these kids were intelligent enough to think that.
By the way, you can understand why plenty of fucking white people don't want to acknowledge systemic racism, or these rich dudes don't want to fucking acknowledge the advantages they have by listening to the Americans in the fucking chat try to act like being born into, being born with inside of the U.S. soil is not a profound privilege, okay? Motherfuckers never want to recognize their own privileges. Even those motherfuckers who are in the chat yelling at me non-fucking stop, okay? I at least recognize my privileges, bitch, okay? That's the difference. And that's it. You can fucking cry all you want and be like, oh my God, you were born into this, born into that. It's just the truth, okay? Your starting point is still significantly better than other people on the planet. That doesn't mean you're going to be in a good position, and especially because if you compare yourself to other people in America, you're in a really shitty position, because I don't expect anyone to be like, well, there's like fucking kids born with AIDS in Africa. You know what I mean? Obviously, no one should do that. As a first-generation American, it's 1,000% true. Americans have no idea how hard it is to become a citizen or to even stay here. Yeah. Except if you're black or POC. No, like even then, what you're supposed to compare yourself to is your fellow countrymen. And in that respect, yes, you are in a worse position overall. Completely true. I agree. But no, it's still true. Like, still real. It's still true.
That made me a braggart or something. And they beat the crap out of me at a Quaker school. So that was my first realization of that. And it also allowed me to also realize that I didn't like my father so much, because I came home all screwed up and he didn't even notice. So
There were times as I grew older that I became...
Yeah, as someone from the third world, it makes me incredibly angry and jealous to see how disconnected are Americans from the rest of the world. Yeah, motherfuckers have no idea. Listen, chatters living in like a non-Western country, chatters living in like not fucking Europe or Canada or whatever. I'm gonna tell you right now, these Americans will never understand it. They will never know. they just cannot even comprehend it because, again, they're going through their own shit. They're going through their own fucking struggles. So in their minds, they're thinking like, what? Like, I don't understand. I have a lot of fucking horrible situations going on in my life in comparison to the rich people here. And that's true. And that's 100% true. Okay? But that's how you see it. Like, that's how you see it. Like, you do not recognize your privileges as having been born here. You know? Because nobody wants to fucking think about that. Nobody understands like being on the other side of imperialism. If you were born into an imperialist nation historically, a colonizing nation historically, you will never be able to comprehend being born into a nation that was the recipient or on the receiving side of imperialism or colonialism.
Happy 2 years.
My mom moved us from Iran to Canada when I was 14. Now I have a Canadian passport, and I 100,000% agree with you. Having a Canadian passport or U.S. passport is one of the greatest privileges. Most people from NA will never understand the advantage of coming from a third world country. Yep. I agree with you, but yesterday you said the U.S. is the worst place to be poor in. No, it is in comparison because you're fucking... In comparison to what we can do. That's why I always say America is so fucking horrible to its citizens because we have the most money, we have the most wealth. It's about what we could do and what we don't do, okay? That's the difference. I know poverty. I live in Cancer Alley, South Louisiana. We get cancer 5x times more than the average American. Our home gets destroyed in every hurricane. With the next 100 years, we'll be under the Gulf of Mexico. Yep. If privilege is a ladder, the further down you are, the more aware you are of your position. Here's the reality. Even if you're poor in America, and this doesn't... Again, if you're comparing yourself to what America could do for you, then it's devastating. If you're comparing yourself to what others have in America, it's devastating. But if you compare yourself, which is not the expectation, okay? I'm only having this conversation right now because someone else brought it up. And I always talk about how everyone has blind spots. But even if you are living in Louisiana, okay, here's one insane advantage that even people living in Cancer Alley have over someone living in fucking Afghanistan or someone living in even fucking Turkey, in a poor part of Turkey. Okay, infrastructure. It's dog shit, but it still exists. Okay, as a consequence of like the 30s, as a consequence of like the New Deal. Okay, and the level of like basic infrastructure needs that you have that are addressed. You have indoor plumbing. You have fucking shit that like literally people take for fucking granted. You know what I mean? It's like you have internet, you have working electricity that is like functioning for the most part. You have roads, you have literally fucking food. That's a really huge thing that most people also don't understand. Like, you have grocery stores, you might even be in a food desert, but you still ultimately have within reach a place that you can go to get food that's like always fucking stocked. That's huge, dude. That's insane. One of the many benefits, for example, of living in the Western world, living in the United States, vaccines. When the rest of the fucking planet was still getting destroyed by COVID, we had an abundance of vaccines. That is, again, yet another example of like being having an American passport being a great fucking upper hand and an advantage. So obviously this is not a good comparison to make because no one lives that way. Okay, like no one is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking compare myself to someone growing up in El Salvador right now every single day to feel better. And I'm not like some fucking conservative dipshit who's like, yeah, reconsider your priorities, you fucking American people. Like, you're so, you're in the greatest nation of earth. Like, you can totally fucking make a killing and like, destroy it. And, the American dream is real, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that at all. Okay? Because I want you to compare yourself to what your country can do. I want you to compare yourself to others that do have a lot more in this country. Yeah. But just recognize that, like, we all have privileged blind spots, and this is one of them. This is one that, like, Americans have that don't realize it. And they're probably going to get really fucking mad. You're sounding like JPP for a second. Anyways, keep going.
More conscious of it by the way people treated me because I had money. It wasn't even my money, you know, I was a little kid. It was people, I'd noticed people treating me differently because my parents had money. So that even, you know, one more step removed. So I never really understood that because I couldn't give them my parents' money. So I didn't really think there was a reason to treat me in a different way. But I think that's why in friends that I have now, the major quality I look for is sincerity, because I think there is a lot of that, and I didn't realize it when I was younger because I was quite sheltered, but now I see it. So
I remember, you know, being picked up from school to go on holidays in a limousine being this huge thing. I remember being so upset with my father when, you know, he would do that. I remember, you know, making him like either like park around the block, and I would like scurry down the street and around the corner. And that's a true story. I really did that a couple times. I remember just like,
a couple times. Oh man.
Being like, no, you know, I'm not rich. I don't have any money. And, you know, really telling people that, making an effort.
Or like here's one example I give you. Like I told you guys already, I was in a really good situation. I was in an affluent family in Turkey, but just by virtue of living in Turkey, for example, we would have electrical outages regularly. Okay. That's just the reality. I don't know how different it is now, but when I was growing up, that was like a part of fucking growing up and living in Turkey. Even if you live in a fucking city, you would regularly have the electricity go out in the entire fucking city regularly. Blackouts regularly. I only saw that once in America in my fucking lifetime, and I was like, what the fuck? It was a matter of national fucking news, dude. Yo, we still on for ball at 3, Monkahum? Yeah, everyone's coming over. I'm just waiting. Yeah, that's something that you will literally never think about in America. Like, you just won't. You just won't understand it. You're like, what the fuck? So that's just like a difference. That's just like a difference between like living in a country that is not as developed as the United States. You know what I mean? Yeah, we are balling. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. I feel like back in the day, people born rich at least pursued something, became a high general studying fine arts or whatever. No, that's not anything. It's not even remotely different than what they do now. Stop trying to make me have a well-rounded worldview. Yeah. Jake is not showing up, unfortunately. I literally scheduled it at 3 for him, and then he told me that his car guy had to reschedule.
Identify with like maids working in our house, or like babysitters, or, you know, whoever, and trying to convince them, like, as though there was any, like, they were living in our house, for Christ's sakes, you know?
My dad brought us up, always telling us we were poor. We never were given too many presents, and I didn't know anything about the Vanderbilts or the Whitneys. I didn't know anything about it, and I remember when I was a little kid, my mom let me spend the day with my uncle, and he took me to Grand Central Station, and he said, "This is yours."
I got NY third vax yesterday.
I mean, it's just the worst thing. He took, and he'd just take me all around New York and be like, "Yes, we own this," and it was the dumbest thing in the world to do to a kid. This is something that some people in my family did a long time ago. I never knew them. My mom never knew them. My grandfather didn't even know the people who came up with this idea. I'm not like making money off of Grand Central Station or anything.
I didn't grow up like Josiah with statues of my family in front of Grand Central Station. I don't even know that much about how my
He's like, oh man, I'm a humble billionaire, dude.
family started their business, and I really don't know anything about how it still runs today. In fact, none of my relatives have worked at Johnson & Johnson since my grandfather's generation. All I know about it is that ever since I was a kid, I've heard this rumor that they have a company store in there where employees can get anything they want for half price. Even though my name's on the package, I'm just a shareholder and a customer, so I pay retail, just like everybody else.
Dude, that's, oh my fucking God, dude. That's beautiful. That is literally, is this the fucking Communist Manifesto? What's going on right now? He just described capital ownership and how separated and far removed the true owners are from the owners of the means of production are from like the actual assembly line and the average worker fucking putting the pills in the bottles. Just like, I'm just a shareholder. They just print money for me. It's sick. I need to get this fucking guy, dude. I need to get this guy on the broadcast. Holy shit.
These are like the new rage, right? Like these glasses. Okay, ready for me to look totally retarded? Because yellow is not my color.
Cancel.
We'll go ahead anyway. I'm a handbag guru, personally, because it's like the easiest thing to shop for when you're not.
Doesn't the money he paid for the Band-Aids go back to him 100-fold anyways? Yeah, that's the irony, is that he's paying. Like, that's how our economy works. That, like, when he goes in and buys a fucking Band-Aid, he's paying himself back.
You're not really shopping, and you're just running in, and you just go and you buy it, and you don't realize how expensive it is. And then it kind of adds up, and you have like two huge, like shelves worth of bags. I think this is so classic. It's just a little bag. You stick everything in. It can hold your makeup kit. It can hold your Palm Pilot, or if you're still into paper, your diary. And then, of course, you also have the bigger one, so you can fit your little dog in it. My dad's German, but he was born here in New York. He went to collegiate, and then went...
No, it's not like me gifting myself subs, you weirdos. It's like Jeff Bezos gifting me subs. Okay? No, when I gift myself subs, you know what I'm doing? I'm giving you guys subs, but then also on top of that, I'm paying Jeff Bezos. It's like if Jeff Bezos came here and was like, Hasan, I really love your work. Here is 100 gifted subs. That's what it's like. You can't even comprehend that level of ownership. You literally cannot even comprehend. Do you understand? Do you get it? Like that's why comparing these guys to someone like myself is so fucking stupid in some way, because like I still am giving fucking Twitch a cut. You know what I mean?
To put himself through Columbia, and then went to Harvard Law School and was a lawyer, and is like self-employed now. And so I was always raised lap of luxury in New York, totally lucky, going to private schools my entire life and kind of having whatever I want, but always knowing that if you ever lose it all you have is this.
I'm a German baron and Italian viscount.
And how does that happen exactly?
Well, because my great-grandfather was Kaiser Wilhelm II, and it just means, when you come from an old family, and, hundreds of years ago, you're either related to a royal family or, somebody in your family, like in the Middle Ages, clubbed somebody on the head and king made you.
He's literally describing enclosures, dude. He's like, you know, I'm rich because my, you know, great grandfather was the one with the big stick and decided to close off wealth from everyone else. I love that. Hey, what's up, dude? You looking good, bro. You looking fucking brolic, dude. We are watching a documentary on the mega wealthy so that, you know, we can. Yeah, exactly. Well, you and I are both in it, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, lifestyles of the fucking barons and, you know, the Vanderbilts and shit like that. You know, just people that are, you know, multi-billionaire, intergenerational wealth recipients.
Sounds
you
like
know,
us.
people like you and people like me, obviously. Okay, that's just how it is.
Obviously. So,
okay.
I am here balling.
Yeah.
We're gonna ball. Can I get a snacky real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Is it cold outside, Austin? Stealing from the rich. You should come back and visit New Jersey soon. Winky face. Fuck no, dude.
Love you, Austin.
Austin's definitely very rich. Have you seen how much he pays for cookies and milk? Yeah, I have. I'm gonna actually change because it is fucking cold out. It's like chilly out.
It's 65 degrees.
Okay, there you go. You got your snackies, dude?
I got my snackies. I'm ready. Anybody can
Here,
see
I'll
it.
like fix it up a little bit. You can pull up that chair here. Take the master sword.
I'll be
off.
careful I don't sit on your sword. It's just casually laying across.
Yeah, I had some people over last night, so I was like
So
showing
you
them
brought your- oh, okay.
my guns.
All right. Oh.
Yo, what if we could get Jamie Johnson on the podcast? I think we literally could. I feel like he'd be down to do that. There's like a couple billionaire sons and daughters that I actually do appreciate. I guess Jamie Johnson is. You smell fucking insanely good.
Oh, you scared me. I thought like
you
that.
smell like you smell like soap.
Really?
Yeah. What happened?
I went and showered.
You just showered like right before you came?
I showered and like yeah, right before I came. I used
You
the
loved
stuff
it. You got so excited when I said that.
I did. My hair's fucked though, dude. I need a haircut.
Yo, me too. I'm just kidding. I just got one, and it still sucks. I hate long hair now.
Yeah, everything's just. I thought that I knew we were playing basketball today, so I commissioned this jersey.
What does it say in the back? Boom! AustinShow. What's up?
And always repping the American flag, which I'm sure will be taking a moment before the basketball game to sing the national anthem.
Yeah, of course.
And stand.
The other billionaire son I like is the Disney heir. I think like she fucking rips into billionaires regularly. Anyway, here let's watch this guy. Austin, this guy is literally. We're waiting for Jay. I'm gonna text him right now to see where the fuck he's at. Myth is coming. Jay from what's the K-pop Jay is coming.
Oh my god. I better not beat him or I'm gonna get attacked.
Yeah, that's true. Day 6J is coming. Will's coming. Mitt's coming. Yep, that's it. That's right.
I am terrible at basketball, by the way. Terrible. I'm a good passer. Like, I can pass the ball real well. Bum, bum, bum. Dribble maybe a little bit. Little shimmy.
Okay, what are you doing, bro? What are you
just showing off my moves?
You're gonna break something. We're gonna stream it too. Yeah, of course. No, I brought a bunch of streamers together, and we're not even gonna.
I'll be honest. You really
I'm gonna go change. I'm gonna go put on like
Okay.
clothes to play basketball.
You really think I'd show up to this thing if I wasn't, being streamed? I don't like basketball. You kidding me?
It's just sort of the way the family's progressed, and it's just a question of manners and just, it's not even that. It's just like the difference between old money and new money.
Right. Yeah, Is this guy British?
So as you can see, there's not much audience for fencing, aside from the fencers themselves. It's kind of bleak.
Oh.
Do you hang out with the fencing team more than
I was German?
Roger, do I hang out with the fencing team? Yeah, you hang out with the fencing team.
I'm sorry, all white people look alike.
Everyone's very nice here because fencing just attracts people who aren't that outgoing.
Sorry.
Don't have that much they need to prove, you know, guys who don't shout and scream all the time. Drink. Go Ford! Call you Ford! All right, Nathaniel! Whoa! Shit.
A lot of people who know me know, what my financial situation is, and they do ask me a lot. They wonder, why do I stay here on campus? They think I have something better to go home to, like a man.
I just think it's funny that is this guy a billionaire? Is this guy a billionaire? I've never seen somebody uber wealthy describe their uber wealth as like a financial situation. You know what I mean? Like it's a problem.
Off campus or something, and I do have a place in the city, my father's place, but it's not fun to go there, and I feel a guest in my own home. So I stay here, and I made this place my own, and my friends don't always understand that, and they have their own idea of how a wealthy person or person from a wealthy background would live.
I mean,
this is my place. This is in Lloyd at Haverford. It's senior housing. That's a Lloyd double, so I have 2 rooms, mine and my roommates, and we have a suite, and it's nice. I keep all the things I want. We got food stuff, which we're kind of out of, and enough liquor to service at least 2 people.
Look, I appreciate somebody that's uber wealthy and lives simply, but I would not be one of those people. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have to be honest. I just wouldn't be a simple person. If I had billions of dollars, I would not be somebody that would live simply. I'm sorry. I would be.
From what I've got at my father's place in the city, but this is really it for me. This is where I feel safe.
And that's okay. That's okay.
In control of things. When I go to New York, that just doesn't feel like my life anymore.
Okay, this is a room that nobody's probably walked into for the past 10 plus years. It's a little time capsule.
Oh my God, is that Ivanka Trump? Trunk. Ivanka Trump.
And my interesting attempt at color painting, the homage to Poison and Motley Crue, the 90210 posters, little, I think they were trading cards.
That's my daughter, believe me, she's fantastic. I would totally date her if she wasn't my daughter, believe me. Look at her, isn't she beautiful?
It's small for me now.
Isn't she fantastic?
Probably why I don't stay here anymore, but yeah.
And what floor are we on?
We are on the 68th floor.
Jesus Christ.
Not a bad view to wake up to.
Oh, what a miserable childhood. Yeah, I'm gonna come.
Really changed more when I went away to secondary school. Went to St. Paul's. I was really into experimenting and different drugs and drinking, and so I was just kind of a mess. I was weird. I mean, some of my friends tell me about how I used to just go off in the woods and climb up to the very top of a tree and sort of make weird noises and scare people.
I mean, the first time I tried LSD was the summer between 6th and 7th grade. And I look at some of the crap some of my friends were involved in. Like this whole gangster thing that we all went through. Like our incredibly precocious drug habits that we just made it, such a point of flaunting to the world. Not that I was against the drug habits. I mean, I was one of the more precocious. These are, 2 small, elite New York private schools, and then at St. Paul's, there's boarding.
Does Hasan just expect me to know what's going on and just commentate over this?
Historical snobbery.
Because I don't. This is not really my gig.
If you ever have an encounter that rubs you the wrong way,
I'll commentate.
it's whoever pisses you off. And I'm up at boarding school, and this kid's from like some shit town in Connecticut. I don't know. I can just say, "Fuck you." I'm from New York. I can buy your family. Piss off. And this is petty, and this is weak.
Wait, hold on. Well, go back. The hell does this asshole say?
I had the sign. I had to look over my will. Things I'd never thought about before. And this was the time when I was trying to think about college.
Did I go forward? Oh, my bad. I meant to go backwards. I thought I hadn't seen that before. Okay, let me go back.
Which sort of coincided with my 18th birthday. And
like our incredibly precocious drug habits that we just made it, you know, such a point of flaunting to the world. Not that I was against the drug habits. I mean, I was one of the more precocious. These are, you know, 2 small elite New York private schools, and then at St. Paul's there's boarding school, which is just a bastion of historical snobbery. I mean, it's just all there, you know? If you ever have an encounter that rubs you the wrong way, someone ever pisses you off, and I'm up at boarding school, and this kid's from like some shit town in Connecticut, you know, I don't know. I can just say, fuck you, I'm from New York. I can buy your family, piss off. And this is petty, and this is weak, and this is very underhanded, but it's so easy, you know?
My parents had come
Is he saying that he said that? He used to say that kind of stuff?
Visit me during Parents' Weekend of that fall, which sort of coincided with my 18th birthday. And my dad brought up all this paperwork, things I had to sign. I had to look over my will. Things
I'm trying to react to it. It's not
before.
It's not working?
No, because I'm a billionaire too, so it's really awkward.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's really uncomfortable.
Let me get over there.
I rejected this interview because I didn't want to be put on blast like this.
Knowing I
I feel that.
was a millionaire. That's kind of it's kind of hard to.
Bro, you make such a mess, dude. I swear to God, there's like
a kid and you haven't done.
Chat. I want to show this to you. I can't, but like, there's literally like, why is that there? The trash is right next to it. It's like you tried. Like if you tried to fucking. There is literally packaging, Blue Diamond almond packaging on the ground, right next to the trash. As in, he saw the trash and then he tossed it right next to the trash.
It fell off the desk. I mean, it did. It fell off. Hey, by the way, I just want to say something.
What's up?
I went on the podcast and I was so flattered.
Oh yeah, the comments.
All the comments were saying you need to add me as a consistent staple to Fear and Malding.
Yeah, people love the dynamic between you, me, and Will.
It was phenomenal.
It's crazy. He's too rigid because we're cleaning. Yeah, he's like, I don't understand. Where is your robot maid who comes in and laser beams the trash on the ground? At my house,
I actually don't have cleaners.
At my house, the moment that the trash is touching the ground, there's a laser that zaps it away.
Actually, you know who cleans my house?
No.
Lord Kirk.
Lord Kirk
Lord Kirk is the most cleanly person I know.
I'm pretty cleanly too.
Incredibly cleanly. No, not Lord Clerk. Lord Kirk.
Like, is it clerk? Oh.
No.
Okay, let's keep going.
Done anything yet? But you have all of this, and while all your, you have other friends who don't have anything. They just have their little checking account with the money they earn from summer jobs. Put it this way, I'm a multi-millionaire. I have an income in the high 6 figures minimum per year. And then I make roughly $50,000.
Bro, what do they do? Do they like beat you in the head if you're like a billionaire fail son? Why do they all sound like they all sound like they have like some issues, you know what I mean?
$1,000 a year on my current job.
To St. Paul's, I drove up with the chairman of the board of trustees from there. Like, he was my dad's best friend at the time. You know, like,
this guy,
the second day of school, like,
this guy can't help but brag.
Oh, he's a gigantic piece of shit.
He cannot.
He got arrested for domestic abuse.
Oh, like after this?
Yeah, later. Yeah. And you'll find out why. I mean, he is like a gigantic piece of shit. The thing is, like, when you're rich, you automatically do have an interesting life because you're afforded so many opportunities that the average person doesn't. You like are in circles and like do a lot of shit. But instead of just like focusing on that sort of stuff, this guy is like weirdly made it his personality to be the least interesting rich person.
Yeah.
Dude, my favorite type of person, dude. You can buy $3 million houses. You can buy 10 of them like that and not even think about it. Yes, exactly.
headmaster who every student hated because he was just a prick came
Yeah,
up
New
to
York
me and
rich is a
personally
different type
introduced
of
himself.
rich.
Just like things like these, you tend to notice, you know? And then Brown, like, forget about it. Like, I mean, I think on some level I got in there on my own merit. I had really good boards. I had really good grades in high school. But that's almost incidental because I feel pretty sure I would have gone there anyways. I attended the entire of my first academic year, I think less than 8 academic obligations. Total. And
You know how I get to buy a house? By fucking serving you a top of the hour ad break. That's right, dude. And then telling you can avoid those fucking ads by subscribing for $5 a month or for free with a Twitch Prime. You get the fucking no longer see the ads. You have an ad-free broadcast experience, and you give to the Hasan Abi House Fund. That's right, and that's how I get to fucking buy houses. Okay, multiple houses. That's right, baby. At the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break, and it's coming right now, folks.
60-second ad break. That's
There it
right.
is. How many houses?